Let's quit talking about all this monitor stuff and let's start installing some things. So what I'm going to do in this episode is I'm going to install this beautiful high-end graphics card into this system. Now, there's a couple of things I want to talk about. So first of all, let's take a look at the business end of this card itself. Now you notice I've got a lot of different connectors on here. There is a lot of these cards where they will only use one connector by default, so you want to always try to use that one first. And every card's different. You want to do a little research on that or read the manual. So what I'm going to do is stamp in the card. So notice, as long as I'm holding the outside of the card and staying away from metal parts, I don't have to worry about anti-static. I never use anti-static when I'm stamping in a card. So let's take a look inside here before we start stamping. Now you're going to see I've got three 16-lane PCI connectors in here. So they're actually numbered. It's PCIe 1, PCIe 2, and PCIe 3. That will be important in a moment. So what I'm going to do, let's go ahead and drop in this card. You can see I've already popped off a couple of spacers. Especially these higher end cards are so big and ungainly, you really got to take your time in terms of dropping them in. Okay, perfect. They're so big I have to actually look underneath and make sure I'm hitting the PCI slot. Now the other thing you got to really be careful about is that you really get tempted with these cards not to put in both screws, especially if you're going to put it on its side. Do not make that mistake. Whew, what a behemoth. Okay, now the other thing we need to deal with these cards is take a look right over here on the end. And you're going to see we've got PCIe power here. Now this is a big card and it actually needs dual 8-pin PCIe power. A lot of these PCIes will break out like that for 6. Those are fairly rare anymore, so I'm going to have to plug these guys in. All right, so this part's pretty much ready to go. All I'm going to need to do at this point is go ahead and plug them in. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to plug this guy in and I'm going to fire him up and meet me over at CMOS. I got something I want to show you over there. Here is one setting I want to make sure that you're aware of. You can actually pick what video card you want to boot from. Now this particular system has an onboard graphics card. So right now it's set to the first PCIe card, which is where I'm plugged in. But if I hit the options, you'll see I've got some more options here. So the IGFX, that stands for the internal graphics card. So if I wanted to boot from there primarily, I could use that. Or if I had multiple graphics cards, I could pick any of these other PCIe slots numbered 1 through 3. There's a lot of reasons why you might have more than one graphics card on a system today. Multiple monitors is one example, but a lot of people will use these for data mining if you're into Bitcoin or something like that. So that's why if you take a look on this particular case, you'll notice I've got 2 slots that are going sideways like that. What those are for is for a riser. So this is a riser I've got in my hand right here. I want you guys to take a look at this. So you'll notice I got a PCIe 16 lane on one side and a PCIe 1 lane on the other. Now the system's already running, so I don't want to plug this in. But I can take this guy and drop it in sideways like this, and now I can put in yet another graphics card. So might be a little too big for my current setup, but I can put multiple cards in there, and that's why riser cards are used more than anything else today. Generically, a riser card is anything that plugs into your main expansion bus and gives you an extra slot. Okay. So my system's up and cooking, pretty happy. I went ahead and checked my CMOS, everybody's happy there. So I'm going to go ahead and do my initial boot. Now once we've booted up, today's world's really pretty easy when it comes to graphics cards. So I can tell just by looking how pretty the monitor is, it's probably in good shape, but let's go ahead and check in Device Manager. And I take a quick peek, I don't have any exclamation points or anything here, so I know I'm in good order. Now you need to make sure that you have a graphics card that will match the native resolution of your monitor. all monitors have a fixed resolution. This particular monitor I have is a 4K monitor, so I know that this graphics card can push it that hard, so I'm in good shape. The only other thing I want to check right now is make sure I'm running in my native resolution. Right there, I see 3840 by 2160. That's my native resolution, and I'm in good shape. Now, one other thing while I'm in here is that, especially with these big 4K monitors, if you leave the text at its default size, wow, it's really small. Okay, let's make it a little bit bigger. So Windows recommends 150% for this particular one, but Mike Meyers likes it a little bit bigger. So you always want to make sure that you adjust your scale for your text apps and other items to something that matches what you want to see. Monitors are generally pretty easy to deal with within the Windows world. The only other step I would recommend at this point is to go ahead and update your drivers. Surprisingly, Windows Update does a pretty good job about updating video drivers these days. However, a lot of people just like to go to the individual websites, pull down the latest driver, and make sure that you're looking good. Last, pretty much all video manufacturers will have some kind of little utility that's running that allows you to make a lot of adjustments, and one of those is check for updates, and a lot of people enjoy those because it's an easy one-stop, make sure you got the right update driver place.